So I was talking to a mate a couple of days and kind of decided that let's take a ride, let's go somewhere, let's camp somewhere, where we're going to go, what time we're going to leave, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up meeting up at this wee joint. This is at the corner of Tram Road and Browns Road, and it's the speed record plaque for a speed record set down a few years ago, which is really awesome. Great, go out and have a look. Heading towards Arthur's Pass, where our plan was in the end. This is the old Waimakariri Bridge at the gorge. Pretty awesome that the bridge used to have trains going across way back in 1908. Around that time, as part of a way of moving stuff around, didn't really have that much traffic in the way of trains. I think there may have been one a day or one a week at many stages through that period of time, but you can sort of see on the left hand side as you're going up or heading south down the Waimakariri Gorge Road there, you can see the old place where the train tracks used to run and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I'd recommend taking a ride through there. And you get to the good old pie. Sheffield pie. Stopped for a venison and whiskey pie. Beautiful pie that was. And also had a apple turnover thing, apple cake. Delicious. And we're heading up to Porter's Pass. Porter's Pass is quite a nice road. It's a route that you have to take to get through to the west coast. Back in the days, I guess the horses and carriages and whatever else would have taken a route similar to this. Porter's Pass, actually a few metres higher than Arthur's Pass. And Arthur's Pass, of course, is the central pass to the Southern Alps to get over to the west coast, directly into the likes of Otero, Hokitika, Greymouth. It's also got the third highest point on the South Island State Highway, after the Lindis Pass and the Milford Road, which is pretty cool, and that explains why the road is closed quite often. I had it in my mind it would be quite cool to take a ride up to one of the ski fields. The Craigiebird ski field was closed, or the access road I believe was closed. We took a ride up to Texas Flat. It's quite nice scenery wise. The road wasn't too bad, and actually it's another place that appears to be really popular with the likes of mountain bikers and walkers and stuff. There's quite a few walking tracks around, and we looked up as we were heading in there. We don't see on this clip, but on the way up there were paragliders or paraponters coming off the top of the hill, so they may have climbed up there or got access to the road, and they've gone up top and sailed on down, which would be pretty cool. I was quite impressed with the number of people up there actually, and I think it's a little bit like Castle Hill and also Cave Stream. A lot of people seem to head up there and for that nature and getting out there into it. Living the dream, I guess you might say, getting out with the nature. I love that. It's damn good, eh? You can't beat the smells and just that being free and away from the likes of all that commercialisation and town and all that sort of stuff. There's elements of that are awesome, and I appreciate it. But I think I'm definitely a country orientated person in the heart. There are seriously lots of places that you can take a walk up around here. And also, I believe, as far as tussock ground, well, you can see it there. Look at all the tussock. It's very sort of desert, not really desert-like, but that kind of barren land, and a lot of birds and stuff around there as well. As we turn to the left here, you go around a curved bridge and up we rise there, which we will do in a second. And on the right-hand side is where you come across Cave Stream. That's a really cool network of caves. I haven't been in there myself, one day maybe, but I have gone for a little bit of a walk around the tracks that lead to the cave entrances and stuff. So I found that really kind of cool, and there were a lot of people there then. And even still now, it's amazing, even with the COVID and all lack of tourists, some of the awesomeness of the nature that we have. Craigieburn is another place, a bit like Cheeseman, I guess, a lot of walks around. And Mistletoe Flat was a place where I was parked up here, and there's actually a really cool stream just down there, and you can camp right next to that if you want. You can see the tent. We were considering on this spot as a place to camp for the night. It's got a beech forest and stuff around, and another great place for people where they go for the walking and so on, and just getting out there and enjoying the nature, birds and stuff, all that sort of thing. Really nice set, and it's got a really nice shelter there as well. So I think it's definitely a place I want to head back to and camp at. We obviously did not choose to camp here. Lake Pearson's another nice spot too, right next to the main highway. So I guess road noise could be a pain in the nighttime, and maybe wind too. It's quite exposed right in the Waimakariri Ranges. But again, they recommend, they say it's a great place for bird watching if you desire that, and also right next to the water. I guess you could go fishing. We saw some people fishing there and kayaking and stuff. No motorboats allowed. Really nice looking facilities and so on. There were a lot of people there on this day, so I think another place we really want to head back to and just spend a night there and enjoy it really. So we headed further west. Back in them olden days, many people wanting to go to the west coast wouldn't have had this road and motorcycles and so forth like this. They would have been travelling either on foot or on a horse and carriage, and that would be the only way that they could get there. Would not have even had the facilities like the bridges and stuff that we have today, which is pretty out of it really. And that is as early back as like 1866, probably a little bit sooner than that even. I'm no historian, but there was a town sort of situated on both sides of the Waimakariri River at the top there, and that was so that to allow people to stay on either side depending on river levels, so that they could hang out and wait for the river to come down or whatever, maybe rest before they travelled the rest of the route. So this is where we sought out to have a decent feed before the night. We decided that we wouldn't bring our camp cookers and all that stuff, or too much food to cook from scratch. In hindsight, probably would have been better to have done that, but it was nice to stop here at the Bealey pub and have a meal. Cracking nice spot up here, up at the Bealey pub, looking at some moa and all that kind of stuff. Really brilliant. Well, here we are at the Bealey pub. We just had some lunch right here. Yeah, we've got two motorcycles. One's better than the other. If we were to...
And it's not the black one.
Just beautiful. There's quite a history at the Bealey area, and in 1993 the publican Paddy Freeney, he reckoned he saw a bloody moa there, and I think that's why the Bealey pub has sort of got the fake moa there, just as part of the historical element. The reality is that the moa has been well and truly extinct, but he reckoned that there was one around, but they were believed to be extinct from around the 15 or 1400s, where they may have been hunted or whatever by the native people in New Zealand. And also, I learned the other day too that the moa, them becoming extinct, may have also led to the Haast eagle becoming extinct. And I didn't know this. I actually didn't realise that the moa, there were so many different species, and that there were some of them that stood up to like 3 odd metres or so, and also that there were even a small tiny moa that was around the size of a turkey. How crazy is that? Well, I thought that's quite an interesting fact. And the big ones, they weigh up to about 230 kilograms. God damn, that would have been quite a sight to have come across. So we went across the Waimak River there at the top end, across the single lane bridge, and stopped over at Klondike Corner, which was probably once upon a time, I think, was called the Bealey West, where on the other side where people would stop and get ready to cross the river. We were going to camp at the Klondike campsite itself. There were a few people around, and again, it's quite close to the road. We had a wee discussion, and we thought we'd take this trek on the southern side of the main road and head towards more upstream, because there was a road there and seemed to be some facilities there, long drop toilets and stuff. There was no running water, but you do have the river. And ironically, up this way is the start of a walking track. We took a bit of a swim in the water. That was good to a degree. My mates here, they probably enjoyed the water much more than I did. I did take a little bit of time to get in. It was mighty cold. And I think I did hesitate for just that little bit too much longer. As you know, when you sit there and you're contemplating, the whole thing gets worse and worse and worse, and what do you know, you don't even get into the water at all. And I think it took me around about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes to even get underwater. At least I did eventually get wet. A lot of people take walking track up there to go to the huts. The water was so crystal clear, very cold, but the night sky was spectacular. We stayed up and looked and watched the sun go down, the stars start to come out before heading to have a nap ourselves. At the headwaters of the Waimakariri River. Sitting here close to Klondike Corner at a dock camping ground in North Canterbury, up near the top of the Waimakariri River. All the water starts, it goes down to the Waimakariri River mouth. We're camped up in here. Not a bad wee camp actually, just under some trees. There's some people doing some cooking over there. It's quite a busy wee place here because there's cars parked and they're doing the, a walk up the track to some hut. Can't remember, what was the name of that hut? No. It was the Dunno Hut. Now I don't know what it's called, somebody might, but at the moment we'll call it the Dunno Hut. Well, I wake up in the morning and beautiful morning. To be honest, the sleep in the tent there was a little rugged. The big advantage is that it's a nice bright sunny day and you have a fantastic view up into the national park. If you pop up the road a little further, you'll find Arthur's Pass, about 7 k's away from where we're kind of at. Beautiful. We walked up the river a wee way, not too far, just to explore where a lot of these walkers were heading. They would take, I think they were saying, around about 6 or 7 hours or so walking to get to some huts. They were further up the valley, and they might spend, one guy we spoke to, he was going up there and had enough gear on him, food and etc. for 3 days. And he was just walking solo, and there was quite a diverse group of people heading away for overnight camping, or maybe 4 days of camping. One thing, take some of the sandfly stuff with you, because the sandflies, they are ravenous. They weren't the biggest, and they weren't the most annoying sandflies that I've ever seen, but they certainly got in your face. They got into your skin, and they like to take a good bite. Thankfully, the sandflies you saw inside my tent, they only really got in there in the morning after I'd got up and I was starting to pack up, because I wouldn't have been so keen to go sleeping in that tent. It was a really brief getaway, only a few hundred kilometres trek away. Left late morning-ish and was home late morning on the Sunday. Stopped at a cafe, the Highway Cafe in Springfield. Had a nice breakfast. It was very, very delicious. Ultimately, I think to contemplate the next time to get away and go for a camping trip or something along those lines, or even just a ride. But yeah, not too far from now we're going to be going away on a ride, TT2000. Look it up on the internet and check it out, because it's a real challenge. 2,000 kilometres within a couple of days, so from midday Friday till midday Sunday, just really getting to see a lot of scenery in a really short period of time. I think basically this year the rallies have been kind of kicked due to the way COVID has come about, but just got to make the best of what we've got, and get out there, be free, and enjoy the scenery, because you can do that. It's one of our gifts, really. And as we head to the final stretch on the way home, we cross the Waimakariri Bridge for a final time. So from the top to almost the bottom. There are another couple of crossings that you can make across the Waimakariri River before it hits the sea, and that is down at the main State Highway 1 motorway, and also the old Waimakariri Bridge and Train Bridge, which are side by side. So it's an amazing thing, really. All that water that falls up in the mountains up there comes on down and heads out to the ocean, and the river can certainly change in a flash. It's quite incredible, really. Worth to take it in and appreciate the nature around us. So I really thank you all for watching this film, and I hope that you come back and watch another one. And hey, how about you do the subscribe thing? Like this video, I don't know what that does, but do it and let me see. I'll post another video up in due course, maybe after the TT2000. Cheers, bye for now.